Hi, in this video, we're going to talk about the cell cycle. And essentially, cells go through growth, they make more cells in the form of reproduction, and they have to go about their normal everyday functions. And sometimes that involves making more cells. So here we have the overall process of the cell cycle, starting with kind of like right here with G1, gap 1. And then we have S, gap 2, and M. So gap 1 is G1, S, synthesis, gap 2, G2. And M stands for mitosis. So overall in this process, the cell is going to grow, the DNA is going to replicate, and the nucleus is going to divide. During gap 1 or G1, this is where the cell grows and kind of does normal cell things. During synthesis, S, the DNA is copied or synthesized. During gap 2 or G2, the cell undergoes additional growth and really prepares for nuclear division. During M or mitosis, the division of the nucleus occurs as well as the cytoplasm. So the division of the nucleus is called mitosis, and the division of the cytoplasm is called cytokinesis. This process is only going to occur, so the nuclear division is only going to occur if all the other kind of boxes are checked, if the cell is actually ready and prepared for division. So here's just another look, and I really like using a circle here because it shows you kind of almost like a pie chart, the relative amounts of time the cell spends in G1, S, G2, and M. So we can see here that the cell spends the majority of its time preparing for nuclear division or to divide. We call that portion of time interphase. So G1, S, and G2 are all part of interphase. And then mitosis happens here and consists of prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and cytokinesis. And there is some variation in the rates at which cells divide. And you can kind of think of it kind of makes sense. Like a skin cell is going to go through the cell cycle and cell division relatively frequently, but maybe a brain cell doesn't. And those cells that remain in G0, those cells are the cells that are unlikely to divide. Now, cells can only get so big. There are reasons that humans, for instance, aren't just one big cell. And essentially, it has to do with diffusion, which we just learned about. The cell membrane is responsible for things going in and out of it. And it needs to do that. Things need to go in and out of a cell efficiently. And as a cell gets bigger, it can't let things in and out very efficiently. We see this ratio changing. As a cell gets bigger, the ratio between surface area to volume, those numbers get closer together. And ideally, for a cell to function at best, it really needs to have a big difference, a big surface area compared to the volume, right? And again, this is kind of interesting here that cells come in different shapes and the growth is kind of coordinates with that division.